Join my Patreon at patreon.com/bunnytails for the full uncut reactions. Thank you for watching. Hello guys, today we're going to be watching some more Star Trek The Original Series. Today we're going to be watching an episode called Court Martial. This one sounds like it might be an interesting one, so I'm excited to see what it's going to be about, as always, because I never know what to expect, which is what makes Star Trek so exciting to watch. So let's get it going. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoy this episode with me.
We have been through a severe ion storm. One crewman is dead. Ship's damage is considerable. A full report of damages was made to the commanding officer of Starbase 11, Commodore Stone.
Is there an error?
No, but the death of a crewman.
Regulations, Captain. The service can't afford to lose men like Lieutenant Commander Finny.
I agree. I waited until the last possible moment. We were on red alert. The storm got worse. I had to jettison the pod.
There's our guy.
Captain, I believe I'll take that.
Well, Spock was going to say something. What in the Sailor Moon is this?
The man who killed my father.
Getting really uncomfortable vibes already. Jeez. Her shirt is see-through.
You say you jettisoned the pod after the red alert?
You have my sworn deposition.
This extract from your computer log says you jettisoned the pod before going to red alert. An official inquiry will determine whether a general court-martial is in order.
Well, Spock was trying to say something. So what happened? Escape pod jettison. Maybe he's not dead. Was he in the escape pod, this Finny?
Well, I see our graduating class from the academy is well represented.
Oh, I just wondered how long it would take you to get a new records officer. Ben was a friend of ours.
Come on, Jim, let's
Oh,
go.
go on, finish. I'm waiting to hear the rest.
Why don't you tell us?
What would be the point? You've already made up your minds.
Ooh, look at this. Look at this outfit.
If you have any doubt, that was indeed Captain James Kirk of the Enterprise.
Are you a friend of his?
In these trying times, one of the few.
And I'm a friend too, an old one.
All of my old friends look like doctors. All of his look like you.
I didn't know Bones had a little flirtatiousness.
Let's begin with your relationship with Commander Finny.
I relieved him on watch once and found a circuit open to the atomic matter piles that should have been closed. I closed the switch and logged the incident. He drew a reprimand and was sent to the bottom of the promotion list.
And he
Oh,
blamed you for that?
Yes.
Now, let's get into the specifics of the storm, Captain.
Weather scan indicated an ion storm dead ahead. I sent Finny into the pod. I signaled a yellow alert. Then we began encountering pressure, variable stress. I finally signaled a red alert.
Then why, Captain, does the computer log from your ship, made automatically at the time, indicate that you were still on yellow alert when you jettisoned and not on red?
I don't know.
trying to follow along exactly what happened, but I wish I could have a visual of the events.
100 decisions a day, hundreds of lives, staked on you making every one of them right.
Mm-hmm. Big responsibility.
Exhausted.
Is that the way you see it?
That's the way my report will read if you cooperate. Let me bury the matter here and now.
I'm telling you I was there, on the bridge. I know what happened. I know what I did.
It's in the transcript. And computer transcripts don't lie.
I intend to fight.
Then you draw a general court.
Draw it. I demand it. And right now, Commodore Stone, right now.
Oh, shit. Kirk is not playing around.
For real. It's been
4 years, 7 months, and an odd number of days. Not that I'm counting.
You look marvelous.
Jim, this could ruin you. Will you take some advice? The prosecution will build its case on the basis of Kirk versus the computer.
Well, what other choice is there?
Well, that's up to your attorney, and that's why he's got to be a good one.
You, perhaps?
No, I'm busy.
Doing what? Come on.
You still haven't made any recommendation.
Samuel T. Cogley, attorney at law. If anyone can save you, he can.
You still haven't told me how you know so much about what the prosecution's going to do.
Oh. It's her.
I am the prosecution.
Oh.
And I have to do my very best to have you slapped down hard. In disgrace.
That's intense. This is tough because I guess basically they're giving him an option of taking like a guilty plea or kind of like a, you know, oh, he's just tired. But if he fights it and loses, then he loses everything.
You like books?
Oh, I like them fine. But a computer takes less space.
I've got my own system. Books, young man. Books, thousands of them. Do you want to know the law? The ancient concepts in their own language? Learn the intent of the men who wrote them?
Read a book. I like books.
You have to be either an obsessive crackpot who's escaped from his keeper or Samuel T. Cogley, attorney at law.
You're right on both counts.
This court is now in session.
Charge, culpable negligence. Specification in that on star date 2945.7.
Who's the girl? Must be the yeoman of the episode.
What is the plea?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
I call Mr. Spock.
Is that to make sure they're telling the truth? What is that?
It is possible for a computer to malfunction, is it not?
Affirmative.
Do you know of any malfunction which has caused an inaccuracy in the Enterprise computer?
Negative.
Now, the star
But the
date...
computer is inaccurate, nevertheless.
Then how can you dispute the finding of the log?
I do not dispute it. I merely state that it is wrong.
What's the difference?
It is impossible for Captain Kirk to act out of panic or malice. It is not his nature,
In your opinion.
in my opinion.
Thank you.
He did his best in his Spock way.
With reference to Records Officer Finny, was there in his service record a report of disciplinary action for failure to close a circuit?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was that officer?
Ensign James T. Kirk.
Thank you. Do you wish to cross-examine Mr. Cogley?
No questions.
Okay, when are you gonna do something, Cogley? You better pull out something crazy at the end or something.
I now call Dr. McCoy to the stand.
Okay, Bones.
Doctor, you are on the record an expert in psychology, especially space psychology.
I know something about it.
So humble.
Is it possible that Lieutenant Finney blamed Kirk for the incident?
It's possible.
He could have hated Kirk down through the years. Is it not possible that Captain Kirk became aware of Lieutenant Commander Finney's hatred toward...
This is speculation, ma'am.
But he's not that kind of a man.
Is it theoretically possible, Doctor?
Yes. It's possible.
Thank you.
No questions.
It really shows how much they...
Well, sir, the truth is I've been holding back till we get this preliminary business out of the way. I'd like to call Captain Kirk to the stand.
Anyways, it shows how they view him, how he's like not a normal human. He's special. He's Kirk. They've seen him in action. They've been with him.
Was there indeed a red alert before you jettisoned the pod?
Yes, sir, there was. There was no malice. Lieutenant Commander Finney was a member of my crew, and that's exactly the way he was treated. It has been suggested that I panicked on the bridge.
I've never seen it.
This was not my first crisis. I did what my experience and training required me to do.
You did the right thing, but would you do it again?
I would do the same thing without hesitation. Because the steps I took, in the order I took them, were absolutely necessary if I were to save my ship. And nothing is more important than my ship.
Was that the correct answer? I mean, if the ship is in danger, then everyone's in danger.
Visual extract from the Enterprise computer log. Playback.
Well, finally, some visuals.
What you are about to see is precisely what took place on the Enterprise bridge during the iron storm.
They had this the whole time and they're just now watching it?
Iron storm upcoming, Captain.
We need somebody in the pod for reading it, Mr. Clark.
So he needed to read the storm. He pushed a button.
Go forward with magnification on the panel.
Gravity control, switching to batteries.
Alert. Yellow alert. Okay.
Go forward, normal view.
Finny here, Captain. Ion readings in progress.
Make it fast, Ben. I may have to go to red alert.
Affirmative.
Stand by to get out of there, Ben.
Aye, aye, sir.
Steady as she goes, Mr. Hanson.
Freeze that.
Jettison pod.
When the pod containing Lieutenant Commander Finny was jettisoned, the emergency did not as yet exist.
Oh shit, well
But that's not the way it happened.
What? What is going on?
Computers don't lie.
Are you suggesting that I did?
There's still time to change our plea. I could get you off.
I've spent my whole life training for decisions just like that one. Is it possible that when the moment came...
Now he's doubting himself.
No.
I mean, with that kind of evidence.
I know what I did.
I've run a complete megalite survey on the computer.
I'll tell you what you found. Nothing, right?
You sound bitter, Captain.
It's not all bad, Mr. Spock. Who knows? You may be able to beat your next captain at chess. Kirk out.
Chess.
Huh?
I realize it wasn't his fault. I won't make any trouble.
What do you mean? You just saw.
I'm glad you don't blame me anymore for what happened.
I was just so upset that night. I'm sorry. I never realized how close you and Dad had been until I read through some of the papers he wrote.
But with the video evidence.
He's accused of causing your father's death, and the evidence would indicate his guilt.
I was just thinking of Jim.
I have to go and change. You ready?
No, I may be getting ready.
I'm so lost.
They're about to lop off the captain's professional head, and you're sitting here playing chess with a computer.
That is true.
Mr. Spock, you're the most cold-blooded man I've ever known.
He's working on a
Why,
solution.
thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
I've just won my 4th game.
That's impossible.
Mechanically, the computer is flawless. I programmed it myself for chess some months ago. The best I should have been able to obtain was a draw.
Well, why are you just sitting there?
Transporter room standby. We're beaming down.
I'm still lost, but I'm so intrigued.
Court is now in session.
I'm so excited.
So the prosecution rests.
Counsel for the defense.
Come on, Bookman.
Defense rests. Sir, some new evidence has just been brought to my attention.
Objection.
Is saving an innocent man's career a theatric?
Counsels will kindly direct their remarks to the bench.
I'd be delighted to, sir. Now that I've got something human to talk about. The Bible, the Code of Hammurabi, and of Justinian, Magna Carta. These documents all speak of rights. Rights of the accused to a trial by his peers, by the witnesses against him. A right to which my client has been denied.
Your Honor, that is ridiculous.
The most devastating witness against my client is not a human being. It's a machine. And I ask this court adjourn and reconvene aboard that vessel. My client has the right to face his accuser. And if you do not grant him that right, you have brought us down to the level of the machine. Indeed, you have elevated that machine above us.
Ooh.
I ask that my motion be granted. I demand it!
Well, this was the right guy for the job. Mr. Bookman.
I personally programmed the computer for chess months ago. The computer cannot make an error. Someone, either accidentally or deliberately, adjusted the programming and therefore the memory banks of that computer.
Deliberately.
If what you suggest had been done, what man aboard ship would it not be beyond?
The captain, myself, and the records officer. Our records officer was Lieutenant Commander Finny.
He is alive, isn't he?
If you start a search for a man, you assume, don't you, that he wants to be found? He's not hiding.
Yes.
Could a man evade such a search?
Possibly.
I submit to you that Lieutenant Commander Ben Finney is not dead.
He's been salty and so mad at Kirk this whole time, and he's come up with this elaborate scheme to take him out, faking his own death.
Gentlemen, this computer has an auditory sensor. It can, in effect, hear sounds. The computer should be able to bring us every sound occurring on the ship. Gentlemen, that sound is caused by the heartbeats of all the people on board the ship. Dr. McCoy will use this white sound device to mask out each person's heartbeat so that it will be eliminated from the sounds we are hearing.
Mr. Spock? And lastly, myself.
That accounts for everyone.
Oh, you can't hide your heartbeat.
B-deck. In or near engineering.
This has been such a crazy episode. What a wild ride.
So Finny is alive.
Ben! Ben Finney!
The orbit is beginning to decay.
We're back here.
Hello, Captain.
Ben, it's not too late. We can help you.
Like you helped me all along, kept me down, robbed me of my own command.
He probably should have been on another ship
They told you to do it to me.
this whole
You all
time.
conspired against me. You ruined me.
Why did they send Kirk down here by himself? Come on.
Oh, I wouldn't kill you, Captain. But your ship, it's dead. I've killed it. I tapped out your primary energy circuits.
Why kill innocent people?
Innocent?
What about your daughter?
I was a good officer. I love the service more than any man ever dared.
It's not too late. But if you kill all those people...
Why shouldn't I?
Is Jamie included in that deal? Yes, she's on board.
Why did you bring her here?
I mean, I guess, I don't know. Do I feel sorry for him? Whew. Shirt's ripped again. There's always such excitement in the engineering room.
The damage he had caused was considerable but not irreparable. With luck, I would be able to effect repairs before our orbit decayed completely.
Where's Scotty?
Power returning, Mr. Spock. Orbit stabilizing.
I rule this court to be dismissed.
Absolutely no objection.
Wow. That was fun.
How long will it be this time before I see you again?
That depends on the stars.
Sam Cogley asked me to give you something special.
A book?
Just a book.
I didn't have much of a chance to thank him.
He's busy on a case. He's defending Ben Finney. He says he'll win.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Okay.
You think it would cause a complete breakdown of discipline if a lowly lieutenant kissed a starship captain on the bridge of his ship?
Let's try.
She thirsty.
See, no change. Discipline goes on. Goodbye, Harry.
He's
She's a very good lawyer.
Obviously. Indeed, she is.
Why do I feel like lawyer means kisser right now? Well, that was it. I kind of want more. Well, at first I wasn't sure when that episode started going if I was going to really enjoy it, but that ended up being very entertaining, a lot of fun. I was at first thinking that Finny was not dead, but as the episode went on, I started to really doubt that, and they had me thinking that he was dead. And I guess my original hunch was correct somehow. I just thought it would be a cool twist, and it ended up being exactly that. I guess the only thing that really confused me was the daughter. How, without really any evidence, she was so sure that Kirk had ulterior motives, that he was, did all of this on purpose and was malicious against her father, murdered him. And then once provided with evidence, she was like, I was wrong. I'm sorry. And it's like, isn't she supposed to be more upset or like beyond any doubt that this is the man that she's supposed to hate, the one who messed up, who jettisoned the pod early and before the red alert and yada, yada, yada. Interesting. I don't know. That part was a little bit weird. I didn't really understand that. I appreciate how during a time where technology is so advanced and people rely on technology so much that they have brought somebody who is all about the tactile, the old, the original, the more human books, things that are written by people, not like a program that writes some sort of AI script. I think that in this day and age, a lot of us can really appreciate that we are losing. It seems like we are or will be losing as time goes on something. I mean, so many things have already been lost from ancient civilizations, records and things like that. And as the world gets more computerized, more technologized, don't think that's a word. The human touch is slowly being taken away from our everyday lives and the things that we rely on to get by. And it's interesting that even back in the 60s, they were touching on this kind of subject matter. But right now, it just seems like so much more relevant than it would have back then. So reading is something that I used to do all the time. And I have been trying to get back into it over the past years. And a lot of people have recommended to me audiobooks or like a Nook or, an iPad or something where you could easily just take with you anywhere and just open it up and read, from a screen, put it on your phone, whatever. And while it seems like it would be something that would be very useful, probably beneficial and definitely convenient for me, I've always just kind of been like, no, like I want the book. I want to hold the pages, feel them, smell them. I mean, you guys can see, well, maybe you can't, maybe you can, maybe you can't, all the books that I have here on my shelf that I'm so stubborn about having. If I read something, if there's something that I want to read, I'm going to buy the book. If anybody's wondering what kind of books are on the shelf, I won't go into the whole thing, but it's mostly like sci-fi, fantasy. So when I was younger, I read a lot of fantasy, like in elementary and middle school age. And then I started reading more sci-fi stuff. So I have a bunch of Star Wars. I have a bunch of Orson Scott Card. I also have read very many books by Ken Follett, who's like a suspense thriller author. And I have a ton of books, Dungeons and Dragons by R.A. Salvatore of the Drizzt series, for anybody who's familiar with that. So I've spent a lot of time in my past reading and not so much recently, but I don't know. I can definitely relate to this guy who is, books are important to him. And I relate to that. No matter how advanced technology, computers, AI becomes, it's only going to be as strong, I think, as the humans that create it. And those programs will probably never be perfect. And there are things that they will never be able to do that humans can do. I mean, at least not for a very, very, very long time. So anyways, I would probably rank this episode as one of the greats, one of the ones that I really enjoyed. It's got to be up there. And this one was really different. It was very unique, and I really, really enjoyed how different it felt from the rest of the series. This was really cool. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one. Bye-bye.